All right, New Orleans. Welcome back to the second segment of the Thursday edition of the Jack Clegg Show. I do want to make an apology for those of you that may have been trying to tune in on YouTube or Facebook or X on the video podcast. We've had a technical difficulty here, which I am fully responsible for. I screwed up. And YouTube has the video. It just started about 10 seconds ago. So you can watch 2, 3, and 4, segment 2, 3, and 4 of the show. Segment 1, which was really terrific, probably one of the best segments in radio history, you're going to miss. Anyway, you can listen to WGSO.com for the entire audio podcast. Okay, our call-in number is 504-556-9696. We have one caller, Matthew. How are you? You beat Rusty to the starting block today.
Well, I wasn't actually in a competition with Rusty per se.
All right.
So,
are you at the airport? Are you at the airport?
No, I'm at work. This is what I do during the day. I get to live with this sort of stuff constantly.
It sounds like you have planes taking off and landing nearby.
That is the sound of a right-angled die grinder with a wire wheel grinding the rust off of a tool so we can put paint on it so it can go out and get more rust. That's what we do.
Well, it sounds like that is employment forever. It's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, it's just a matter of whether or not it will pay enough forever.
There you go.
So, speaking of YouTube, I'm glad you explained what had happened with your YouTube channel.
Sure.
I thought that you would want to follow the ever-changing terms of service at YouTube.
No, not this time.
There's a YouTube channel that I would recommend called Nick Johnson. And he basically tours the United States and shows the results on video of the horrible domestic consequences of globalization. Now, some of his videos are on the long side, some are on the short side.
Sure.
Usually he tries to never go over an hour, I've noticed, which is a good thing.
Sure.
Some people think that just because they can do an hour, they must.
Right.
No, you're not that interesting. Please shut up. So I'm astonished to hear that the United States has a chief technology officer. That sounds, can I say Orwellian, or has that been overused?
Well, I'm glad you're raising that because I find this to be fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, sort of like a train coming at you down you at the track.
Right.
That's fascinating too.
Well, okay, but this okay, stay with me for about a minute. Okay.
Yes,
on
sir.
March 14th, 2022, President Biden signed one of his 84 executive orders. Okay, remember when Obama was running and someone asked him, well, what are you going to do with a Republican Congress? He says, I'm going to ignore them because I have a pen and I can make executive orders. Right,
yes.
A pen and a phone. That was it. Well, apparently the fruit doesn't fall. Did I say fruit? I meant apple.
You did, but that's okay. We'll roll with it.
Okay, doesn't fall far from the tree because this executive order, which is 14067, dated March 9th, 2022, published March 14th, 2022, it sets the policy for advances in digital and distributed ledger technology for financial services. Ledger technology for financial services. What does that tell you? What does that mean? I'll let you tell the audience what that means.
I think that means the policy for when you go to your bank's website, and you want to look at your account activity. I think that's called the ledger, is it not?
Well, it is. It's not only can you look at it, but anybody else in the government can look at it. So, ledger technology,
to do that for a while.
And it also shows who you may be purchasing things from, how much money you may be spending, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, it's Big Brother looking into your checkbook. Okay, all right. So This particular executive order talks about that. All right. Now, section 1 is on the policy. And if you read the policy, it says things like, in November 2021, non-state issued digital assets. What's a non-state issued digital asset? Bitcoin.
That would be a Bitcoin.
You got it. Reached a combined market capitalization of $3 trillion, up from approximately $14 billion in early November of 2016. Monetary authorities globally are also exploring and in some cases introducing central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Okay, this is central bank eliminating cash as a currency, eliminating U.S. currency. Okay, now, section 2, objectives, it talks about it, but here we go on to section 5, which is the most important. It says, okay, I'm looking for it right here. I'll be with you in a second. Section 5, measures to protect customers, investors, and businesses. Something you might think would be important. Okay, section B, 5B2. Within 180 days of the date of this order, the director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy and the Chief Technology Officer of the United States, this is a guy you've never heard of, nor had I before I read this and did the research. The Chief Technology Officer of the United States, in consultation with the Secretary of the Treasury, Chairman of the Fed, and heads of other relevant agencies, shall submit to the President a technical evaluation of the technological infrastructure, capacity, and expertise that would be necessary at relevant agencies to facilitate and support the introduction of a CBDC system. That's what he said we need the CTO for. Now, as I mentioned before, so who is this Chief Technology Officer? I wanted to find out who it was. Man, woman, child, who is it? When Trump's Chief Technology Officer in 2021 resigned, he's not been replaced. No one has been nominated. They don't exist.
Well, ask me if I'm surprised. Probably because the list of choices couldn't get back to even a Democrat-controlled Senate, because it takes, I believe, 60 votes to pass the nominee for the. You're not much of a surprise there.
Well, there's two choices. One, they couldn't find somebody, and the second one is somebody wrote this other than Biden and forgot to tell Biden that we need to fill the position of CTO.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm going to have to
take a break.
So.
Okay, and thanks for calling in. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a little while.
If you've seen all the wild weather extremes across the country, you know it's never too early to protect your home before any storms, so your family will have peace of mind. Call Vinyltech now to reinforce your home before any storm hits.
Hi, this is Shay Mulkey of Vinyltech. Let us work with you to get your home looking brand new again. I guarantee you will be satisfied. Call me, Shay Mulkey, at Vinyltech, 504-469-7590. And online at vinyltechnola.com.
The fastest growing conservative talk show in the South is now on 5 days a week on WGSO 990.
That's right. American Ground Radio has moved from Saturdays to Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 p.m.
American Ground Radio is based out of Louisiana and is grounded in the ideas that founded our country.
American Ground Radio is a show for everyone who believes there is greatness within each of us.
So tune in Monday through Friday starting at 8 p.m.
on the community voice of the Crescent City, WGSO 990 AM.
This is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
Hey, fellow patriots, I'm John.
And I'm Mike.
We're the Jambalaya Boys from the Holy and Patriotic Jambalaya Show.
Join us Friday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
God, family, and country.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Brooke Thorington. Louisiana ranked 50th in the U.S. News and World Report's 2024 Best States. And here's Sean Richardson on why.
For the second year in a row, Louisiana is trying to get out of last place for U.S. states. The managing editor of Government Rankings, Gary Emerling.
Nobody's perfect. This is just, unfortunately, for Louisiana, how it kind of shook out this year.
The report shows Louisiana ranked 50th in crime, 49th for the economy, 47th in education, and 41st in fiscal responsibility.
Louisiana, its highest ranking is number 41 in our fiscal stability category, and then it's a little bit down from there.
With some categories, including pre-K through 12th grade education and adult health care, showing improvement, it's clear Louisiana has some work to do. I'm Sean Richardson.
North Louisiana is under an enhanced threat level of severe weather this afternoon and evening. Thunderstorms could be accompanied by large hail and damaging wind gusts as high as 75 miles per hour. Flooding rain is also possible, so remain weather aware today. LRN.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited.
They do not give up until you pay.
They put a lien on my house.
How about you? Do you owe back taxes? Call Tax Solutions now and get some help. For a limited time, the IRS offers a tax forgiveness program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Our team can make it easier for you to pay back taxes, avoid tax liens, and get a fresh start. Sometimes you just need a second chance.
I call Tax Solutions now, and they got the IRS off my back.
At Tax Solutions Now, our affiliates are all accredited by the Better Business Bureau and members of the National Association of Tax Professionals.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now. Call 800-319-6697. 800-319-6697. 800-319-6697.
Legislation is moving closer to final passage to end the requirement for employers to give minor workers at least a 20-minute meal break if they work 5 or more hours. Denham Springs Republican Representative Roger Wilder says kids in school go for a longer period of time, especially if they're involved in extracurricular activities.
13 and 14-year-olds could be freshmen, and they could go to school for 7.5 hours at airline and get a 20-minute lunch break. Guess what? If they want a 30-minute lunch break, they get a detention. They have no choice in a school.
The bill heads to the full Senate for final passage. The Violence Policy Center says in 2022, Louisiana ranked second in the country for gun deaths. Kristen Rand with BPC says the number of gun-related suicide attempts increased 6% across the country in 2022.
So having access to firearms is one of the key factors in higher suicide rates.
53% of homes in Louisiana have firearms. LRN.
Hi, I'm Huck, an active Christian who loves Louisiana. One of my goals is to bring Louisiana's education from 50th to number 1.
And I'm Dave. I'm not afraid of government bureaucrats. I fear God. Our rights and freedoms come from Him.
This is Liberty or Lockdown. Please join us on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hello, this is David Jeremiah. Join me each weekday morning at 5:30 or 6:30 for Turning Point here on Talk Radio 990 AM.
Join me, BJ Rust, every Saturday night for the Something to Say radio show on WGSO 990 AM and streaming live on WGSO.com.
Hello, y'all. Let's talk daily from 4 to 5 about our town. The Cynthia Clark Show is powered by Vinyltech, the Gulf Coast premier exterior home improvement expert.
WGSO 990 AM is the only locally owned and operated talk station in New Orleans. We feature 20 local hosts discussing a variety of topics. In an era when the daily newspaper is being discontinued and our competitors are out-of-state media conglomerates, we ask you, our listeners, to support local programming on a local station. To advertise or sponsor one of our great shows, contact me at jeff@wgso.com or call 504-669-6076.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the third segment of the Jack Clegg Show. This is the Thursday edition. And callers, the number is 504-556-9696. We've been talking about a couple of interesting issues. One is, apparently there's a ghost in the federal government. There must be a spook, specter, or ghost working under the name of the Chief Technology Officer, who has written down obligations that are important to America. The Chief Technology Officer is the guy, the person who is the interface between our government systems and technology. That's the person. We talked about the order issued, the executive order issued by Biden in March of 2022. He issued it when there was no Chief Technology Officer, and there's still no Chief Technology Officer, yet that officer was supposed to issue a report within 180 days of March 2022. That has come and gone, but maybe it's not important because his report was to focus on the impact of that executive order, which is discussing having technologically safe currencies in banks and systems. And this guy or girl, whatever it was supposed to be responsible for making it safe for consumers, investors, and businesses. Gee, that's not very important, is it? Not at all. Anyway, Rusty, let's get to Rusty. He's on line 3, I believe. Rusty, how are you this morning? Not this afternoon.
Yes, I know. You're on a roll now. The second one. Let's hope that you increase your hours. I don't know what your situation is with the radio station, but perhaps one day increase your days.
Sure.
But,
it's my golf game. My golf game is getting in the way.
Oh, no.
That's the problem.
Well, you and what's his name, Woods, can fight over that later on.
Well, that's true. That's true. So,
okay.
What can I do for you today?
There's 3 things I wanted to say. I'm going to try to do them exceedingly quick.
That's okay. Go ahead.
But the 2 things, one thing I wanted to say before I mention something about the census in Michael Johnson is this. Last time I was on, I was hoping, you said Matthew beat me this time on the air, but he said after I made the comment that the nation appears to be in a coma regarding the border,
yes,
that we're not basically, we just don't know what to do about it. And the answer to that is that we do know what to do about it. We closed the border.
Sure.
It's really that simple.
Sure.
And these are not normal responses for a country. I think just about every conservative I've heard, I don't know if you use the term, but just about every conservative I've heard is that our country is under invasion.
Sure.
And these are not normal responses for a people whose country is under invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to throw that in there because I think we're either in a delusionary state of mind, too busy about our personal lives, and the word coma is really nice word because it means we're just asleep or we just don't care. regarding the situation. Our country is invaded. It's not just a term. It's being invaded. Which brings me to one of your topics, the census. They want to legitimize all these illegals or migrants, whatever you prefer.
Sure.
And that's why they want them on the voting polls, at the voting. They want to make them citizens as fast as they can, so that no one can take away their right to stay here once they cross that border. And I really think that's a problem. And I don't know if you wanted to say anything, but I got one more thought about Michael Johnson.
Sure.
I've heard you say, now, and if I'm mistaken, because I don't always remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure you've said you don't support giving money to the Ukraine.
Well,
am I correct?
Well, yes and no. I hate to be I sound like a politician, don't I? No, I do not support giving money that is unaudited. Meaning, here you go, we're going to give you $18 billion worth of stuff, but you can't tell us where the money's going. That's the problem that I have with the money going to Ukraine, is that there is no audit of that money. We don't know where it's going. And just, there was a topic I was going to talk about last week. I didn't get to it, and this week moved in. Okay, they passed a bill which gave another $14 billion to Ukraine. All right.
Okay.
President Biden got on the air, I believe it was a week ago Wednesday, so 8 days previously. And he talked about specifics, saying, well, we have a lot of tanks and this kind of weapon, that kind of weapon, and they're currently in Poland, and trains are going to be taking them into Ukraine right away. That's what he said. What did the Russians do?
I don't know.
Destroyed all the train stations and the railroad tracks leading into the Ukraine.
Well,
Knuckleheads.
Jack.
Yes.
I know you're sending you for auditing their what we give.
Right.
But I thought you said in general, though, all this money and involvement with other countries in the world, you were not in support of. I thought you.
No. I believe, and I that we do have a mission in the United States. Capitalism is under attack. Okay, everywhere you go, and to me, there are thugs that run countries that run roughshod on capitalism.
Yeah.
And I believe the U.S. through diplomatic efforts, and when they fail, sometimes military efforts. Just like when we, after 9/11, I was in support of sending troops. I would rather fight and destroy the terrorists in their home rather than wait for them to come here and fight them here.
Right.
So no, if I wasn't clear enough.
I thought you said that a few times. And my position, just to make this clear where we're at, I agree with Trump. I was going to call up Jeff's show. He had an afternoon show yesterday and ask him about this. But I agree with Trump that it's in the European environment. It's in their world. It's their board. And I don't think, it's not that I'm saying we should get out of NATO. I'm not saying that, but we have a border to take care of. And that brings me to Michael Johnson.
Sure.
He said before he didn't want to give a penny to these things. And before the border was dealt with.
Taken care of, correct.
It's in the hundreds of billions, I think. How many, I forget exact the number to Ukraine. And then Taiwan, which is rich enough to buy its own weapons. And I'm going to be frank with you, even Israel is.
Sure.
They're making such a case out of this. And I'm going to be frank with you, unlike you, and this is where we might disagree, I probably will,
Sure.
is that once Trump gets in office, I hope he gets rid of Michael Johnson if he maintains his position. He said everything, he went on against everything that he said he was against before he became House Speaker. He went on the opposite side, and so it's a matter of trust. But the positions, I think, basically I have is that these countries, basically, we can help these countries. I'm not an isolationist either.
Sure.
You made that clear in this conversation. I'm not an isolationist either, but I think these countries, just like the people south of our border and elsewhere, should be trying to look after their own people. They're trying to parasite off of the United States. All these countries, including Europe, Donald Trump says that we pay 10 times more than all of Europe for NATO and for so on. And if that's true, as much as I know, they're not carrying their own weight. And so all these countries are not carrying their own weight. But when it comes to our own border, which fascinates me more than anything else in this conversation or others too, is that we put everybody else ahead of ourselves.
Sure.
And that to me is so profound, Jack, that I think something's vitally wrong here.
Well, and the first thing you said is correct, and that is that we haven't been talking about the border. The problem is the we. The national media directs what people are talking about. They direct what Fox News, by virtue of saying it, Fox News covers what they say. They may be critical of it, but they cover it. And so the media is pushing the Biden agenda, which includes, in my view, open borders. And that's wrong, 100% wrong. Trump is nuanced. I agree with him when he says, look, we're not giving a penny to NATO until all the rest of the countries give their, I think it's 12% or 7%, some part of theirs. Okay, we got to take a break. Rusty, hold on. I want to address a couple of issues after the break, and I think we have another caller online.
What does Grace mean to you? At Grace of the Green Light, a 501c3 nonprofit, we believe that everyone deserves a hot meal, clean drinking water, and the chance to go home again. Our work is made possible through the generous support of Emery and James Limited, an independent insurance agent serving Covington, Hammond, and Metairie, Louisiana. Emery and James, serving our community for generations. Learn more at emeryjames.com.
Donate your vehicle and make a difference. WGSO 990 AM has partnered with Charitable Adult Rides and Services, also known as CARS, to allow you the opportunity to donate your car, truck, motorcycle, RV, or boat to our nonprofit organization. You may qualify for a tax deduction while supporting a card. Simply go to WGSO.com and follow the link on our homepage. Vehicle donation pickup is always free to you, and most vehicles can be picked up within 24 to 72 hours. You'll receive an initial car donation receipt upon pickup, and then the CARS team will work to turn your car into cash to support our cause. Once your vehicle is sold, the CARS team will provide you proper tax forms in time to file. Their friendly donor support representatives are available 7 days a week to assist throughout the process. Again, for more information, go to WGSO.com.
Hey, Mimi, we're moving.
Moving to Wednesdays at 5.
You can check out He Said, She Said on a new day.
Hump Day.
A new day, but we'll still be discussing and debating the hot topics.
And take your phone call.
You can listen to us on 990 AM WGSO, WGSO.com.
And find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, of course, that's me. I've been doing this 23 years, Mimi.
Practice makes perfect.
So you see, we'll have plenty to talk about on He Said, She Said.
Wednesdays at 5.
Right here on WGSO.
Hello, this is Jack Clegg. I want to thank all my listeners and the support I get here at WGSO for making our program, The Jack Clegg Show, successful. Along with that success has come a change in time zones. No, we're not moving to the Pacific time zone, but we are changing the time of our show. Now, for the immediate future, we'll be 11 a.m. to noon on Tuesday and Thursday. Callers are welcome. That's a Jack Clegg Show at 11 a.m. to noon. Thanks for listening.
Tired of placing multiple calls to multiple vendors and getting the runaround? Turn to one resource who can get it done. Sir Speedy. We provide a wide spectrum of print, signs, and marketing services, all backed by more than 5 decades of experience. So when you need that new brochure, direct marketing campaign, or signage to promote your brand, give us a call at 504-586-9812 or visit us online at SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com. Everything you need, one resource, Sir Speedy.
All right, New Orleans, welcome to the fourth and final segment. Rusty, are you still there, my friend?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I, thinking about what you said, and you're raising a significant point. I wanted to share my thought. Okay. On the open border issue. Okay. Tell me if you think this might be true. For the last 3 years, or since Trump came in, we were all, and when I say we, people that were conservative, people that didn't like the fact that there was an open border, we were all angry about it. For 3 years, it got worse and worse and worse. There were some shining stars, like Governor Abbott of Texas, Governor DeSantis of Florida, sending these people into these cities, and we were reveling that these Democratic cities had to deal with this. But the outcome was more and more and more and more people realized how bad it was. Okay. I think the American electorate has said to themselves, nothing we can do about it until we get rid of Biden. So my view is that Americans have put this on the back burner because they know there's nothing we can do until that election to change things. Once the election, I think we're hoping that Trump wins, that Trump starts to deport people, and we put this problem behind us. And we create a wall, we create a border that will not allow for the issue of open border to even be discussed. Isn't that possibly what's happening?
You have a very good position, except I don't know if you know who Chris Holden is. Do you know? Remember Chris Holden?
The name's familiar, but refresh me.
The national security show on Jeff every week on Friday, and we had on the few calls I made to Chris Holden while he was on Jeff's show, we had an argument whether or not about impeaching impeaching Biden on the border situation.
Sure.
So this Malarkey thing is foolishness.
Sure.
Biden put him in there. He can put another guy just as bad in there. And the reason I'm saying all that is because if we would have went after Biden on the border, we would have another strong case and issue to remove him, not to vote for him, to vote for someone else, and so on. We waited, by waiting so long to deal with these things, in my mind, I understand your position, and I'll think about it some more.
Sure.
But we wait so long that we become immobilized and paralyzed to do anything about it. And even Michael Johnson, who said he would not give any money to these other things, whether you think you should give money or not to these other causes, said the borders should come first, and he's a pushover. And all I'm saying is that we keep bending over, we keep conceding to them, and then we're not able to do anything in the long term. And I understand about the election, and I'll say this and quit. The election, but there's a possibility, Jack, he may not get in there.
Sure.
Even though I said he would, Trump may not win.
Sure.
And then we have a permanent open border
I
for
know.
the rest of our history, maybe.
And I think that would be the downfall of America.
Yeah.
And so let me just say one thing historically. The reason why impeachment didn't occur in the first 2 years was what? Why not? Nancy Pelosi ran the House. There was no majority Republicans in the House. So there wouldn't have been any impeachment at all. It was all Democrats. Same with the Senate. Okay. Now there is a slim Reed majority of Republicans. Okay. Now, attempting to impeach him on this, and we could do that, but it's not going to go in the Senate. You're not going to get a conviction.
He's not. You're not going to really impeach him, Jack, but you're going to bring the situation to the forefront of issues in our country. I don't think they never would have got him out. They may not even got the House. They probably wouldn't even got the House, and they can't even do it now probably with the House.
Well,
and it would have brought the issue to the attention of the American people that this is in my mind, a treasonable thing that's going on with the top officials of our country and the White House.
Well,
it has to be brought to the limelight.
I cannot disagree that it should be discussed more often.
Yeah.
More often than the Trump trials, to be honest with you. I mean, every day we hear about the Trump trials. That doesn't affect all Americans. What does affect all Americans is what's going to happen to the country when we become 20% illegal alien.
Yes.
Thanks for calling, Rusty.
Thank you, Jack.
We'll talk to you next
Appreciate it.
Tuesday. All right, pal. All right, we got another caller in, John Swisher. John, how are you?
Welcome to your new time slot.
Thank you.
Mine's at 5. I'm in prime time, drive time.
Excellent.
5 o'clock on Fridays now.
Excellent.
A lot more audience members and callers.
Good.
But anyway, to what Rusty was talking about,
sure.
I don't think Mike Johnson is the problem. I think the problem is he's being threatened and blackmailed into doing their bidding, because that money going to the Ukraine. The reason why it's going is the Ukraine's not taking all the money. They send that money back to the criminal syndicates like the Bidens, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, Obama, and the Clintons.
Well, I sure would I would certainly love to see the paper trail proving what you said. I don't disagree that this is certainly appropriate to consider when you look at the character of the people you just named. I'd love to see a paper trail proving that. But I think one of the issues here, and I read an article this morning about Johnson. Okay. There are Republicans and conservatives who support Israel. Okay. And we know the rest of the Europe and other countries and America is anti-Israel right now because they did what we would do. They did what Trump would do. They got attacked and they went back to destroy the people who attacked them. Okay. That's what I would hope we would do.
And I would like to see Judge Jeanine Pirro become Attorney General when Trump assumes office. We don't need people else like Bill Barr or Jeff Sessions.
I think that President Trump, besides picking a vice president, I think he's going to look at his AG closely. Good point, John. John, thanks for calling in. Folks, thanks for listening to the Thursday edition of the Jack Clegg Show. And we'll be back next Tuesday and hopefully give you a new set of things to make you consider. Have a good weekend.